And we're gonna say hello to the people
yes.
watching the VODs on YouTube. I already uploaded all of them. I remembered. Yay!
Yay!
Good job.
Rare
Is that me?
occasion.
Rare occasion
Oh,
indeed.
no, that's not me. Oh, thank
Took
goodness.
so long.
Kipper, how about
Ooh,
you start telling us
Ooh.
what happened last time?
Aw. Lucky
Ew,
number
ew,
3.
ew. Okay. Hold on. Dang nabbit.
There's some
I'm
notes
gonna
on
need
Discord if you them.
5 minutes and an Adderall.
Oh boy.
Just what you
There's some
remember.
notes.
You
There's
can
some
do
notes
this.
in the D&D chat if you need them.
Oh, I love you. Thank you so much. That would honestly, that might actually. Wait, where is it?
Save your life?
I roll
Save
up.
you the
They
5
see
minutes.
me rolling.
They hate it.
I was rewatching the VODs again for the Vithius encounter. My goodness, it was such a good encounter.
Vithius.
Oh, Genesis says if we're playing Black Ops 6, don't let him out.
Okay, I'm
Aw.
looking.
I mostly play zombies.
Is zombies like good? Oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Oh wait, I think this is from the previous time.
Uh-huh.
The first thing is the previous session. The second two are from the most recent.
Oh, okay.
Why am I blanking on last session?
Was that
It
session
only-
33?
Session 33 is last session. Yes.
Oh, okay, let's see.
33 session,
Wow.
guys. 33
Well,
sessions.
I remember what happened
This is the
last
34th.
session.
I remember
Somebody
the
died.
two
It
big
changed
things.
my life.
No, I very much remember the two big things. I always forget the itty bitties in between is the problem.
I turned into
Uh,
a chicken.
You did.
You know, long-term memory doesn't really stay. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Oh yeah.
An excuse to not have to do the summary.
I turned into a chicken. I
Okay.
can't do the
Sorry.
summary.
So pretty much what
Your
happened
brain.
was the group sets off to potentially talk to Theodric. We're all kind of like, are we gonna talk to Theodric? Are we not gonna talk to Theodric? And then we're like, well, Theodric just appears, so we're gonna find he's just gonna find us. Like that's just how that's gonna work. But Kipper had a sneaking suspicion about something, and he pulls Rexmoa to the side and asks, have you been holding one of the stones this entire time? Are you the basically the warrior of Aris? And Rexmoa is just like, is now a good time? And Kipper's like, yeah. Yeah, so Kipper finds that out, and he's just kind of like, why haven't you told any of us? Do you not trust us? And Rexmoa's like, no, it's a little like more complicated than that, but I do need to tell everybody. And Kipper's like, okay, understood. I just wanted to understand. No pressure though, fam. And then Rexmoa starts feeling a little under the weather, a little not too great, but we're all just kind of like, oh, well, we did, just hike through multiple different cave systems, and we did fall a good amount of times, and he is a little older than the average, and yeah, just a little bit. He's not elderly. No, who would say that? But eventually Kipper starts realizing, hey, something's a little off. This is like a little bit more than regular fatigue. And then what starts happening, Kipper tries to heal him. It's not working, which is very unusual. And then Rexmoa finally faints, and Ambrose and Taurin come over to aid. After that, we decide, hey, yo. Oh, yeah, also Taurin went off to read or send a letter, I think?
I didn't. What?
You did.
What?
No way.
You
I think
did,
nothing like
though.
that happened.
Oh, I thought I'm about to say, I'm
Killer.
like, don't gaslight me right now. My memory bad.
Continue though. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's see. Pretty much what happens is we bring Rexmoa to Theodric, or Theodric appears. It was one of the two. And then Theodric's like, oh no, this is pretty ungood. I need to heal this lizard man. There's something deeply wrong, but you can't be in the room because I don't want it spreading to you. And Kipper's like, I don't trust that, but I'll be watching you. Watch yourself, McCoy. And eventually we all fall asleep, except for Ambrose, because Kipper fell asleep on top of Ambrose, and Ambrose was like, well, I guess I'm gonna be, like, in this uncomfortable position for the rest of the night. No, I think Ambrose did fall asleep, eventually.
I mean, Ambrose, like, sleeping, basically sitting down is pretty common for him.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because you're disciplined.
It's because holding sword, you know.
Oh yeah, it's hard to. I
Teddy
mean,
bear.
you could always like do it kind of like you could lay down flat and hold the sword like how certain warriors are buried. You could
touch
do
my
that. I
teddy
believe in
bear.
you.
Touch my teddy bear, you get stabbed by teddy bear.
Yeah,
Imagine
that's
a
a
little bit of drool.
that's a pretty sharp teddy bear. Yeah. But pretty much what happens after that is everyone starts falling asleep, and then once again Kipper is approached by the thing in his dreams. And it starts out with a normal, oh, he woke up, he's a child again in Misspell, and his mother's there making pancakes. Kipper's like, oh, I love pancakes. He goes downstairs, he eats the pancakes. His friends come to the door, and he's like, oh my goodness, I love my friends. And then they start going around town masquerading, except everything feels a little weird. Like, the faces aren't really, they don't look really right, and the town streets look a little strange, and Kipper starts getting the cold realization that once again, this is a dream, and something's trying to tell him something, and he's like, hey, just come out with it, just tell me things normally. And then thing in his dreams is like, heck no, I'm gonna send all of the Titans to you at the same exact time, which is like pretty mixed signals, if you ask me. That's pretty uncouth. And then Kipper watches everyone in Misspell, including Missball, burst into flames, which is not fun. Traumatic experience era. And then everyone, as they're on fire, is like, kill them. Kill them. And Kipper's like, excuse me? And then he wakes up. Like, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty rough, bro. But it wasn't as rough as what's happening next. Kipper wakes up. He pretty much just tells Ambrose why he's crying is because he saw his mom, which was actually the reason why he was crying at that particular moment. But let's see. Theodric finally comes out with a mildly better lizard man. He is not fainting randomly now. And Rexmoa comes out. He's like, well, I guess I have things I have to reveal to you. And Theodric's like, yeah, also, so his condition is that he is, he might not have that much time? Fading, I think? I don't know if it was expressly said as fading, but I think that's what we were all thinking. And Rexmoa was like, yeah, so I've had the stone the entire time. He explains that to Taurin and Ambrose. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. My brain is so gone. I've been in the rain all day.
Hey, you're doing great.
Yeah,
there was a lot.
thank you. There was so much stuff.
It was a story-intensive session.
It was such a
Nice.
story-intensive session, which I love, which is why Dishonor always has to narrate everything now. Thank you. Okay, so Rexmoa explains that, and Theodric kind of like helps back up some of the stuff of it seems like when you are not around the stone, your condition starts to wane. When you're near the stone, you seem to be better. It seems like you've died. Now that I remember, I think this part might have been secretly just between Theo and Rexmoa. But Theo was like, I think this isn't the first time you've died. And I think the stone is what's keeping you from fully fading away. And Rexmoa was like, well, dang, that sucks. I wanted to see my wife and kids again. And Theo's like, yeah, don't know what to say there, buddy. Okay. And then Rexmoa is reintroduced to the group, and yeah, I think I did a little bit of that backwards, but just think non-linear wise and you'll be a-okay, fam. I think that was generally where we left off.
That is true. That is true. You guys left off as in the morning, pretty much. When Theodric has poofed away, he is gone. As you guys saw him, he went inside of the room again, and as his, usual fashion, he disappeared. So you are now left inside of this particularly empty house, and you guys had somewhere to be, as a matter of fact.
And we do have somewhere to be.
Correct. So again, you guys set up, get ready in the morning, after talking to Theodric and pretty much Rexmoa having this conversation. You guys are, debating whether to go out now or what to do. So what is it that you guys wanting to do? I need to give you a brief reminder. The funeral of the brother of the king is today.
And that was the thing that we
Yeah,
very much
I
so.
do remember last session asking if anyone had appropriate, bereavement
Mhm.
apparel.
Correct.
And yes,
And everyone
that
said
was
no.
I think the answer to that was also look in the shops to see what we could find. But we had an ill lizard man we had to attend to.
Naturally.
Yeah, it's like Ambrose's armor and weapon is like the only thing that's like actually well taken care of that he owns.
I think Kipper's generally like, I mean, I guess the clothing that's on screen, that's kind of like, is that funeral attire enough?
I was thinking, classic black cloaks, but we could do whatever, really.
Maybe let's see if we have discount black cloaks, like, how in times of mourning, people
Yeah,
just
like
start selling
people
black
will just take
cloaks
advantage of the
on
situation.
sale. Get your
What's for
black
this clock?
cloaks. Get your black cloaks.
50%
The-
off.
Prince is dead. Get your black cloaks.
You have Nightshade, Blueberry, and what's the dark green shade? Let me think. Sage green.
Sage, I was just thinking that.
Green.
Surely,
Would you
It's very dark. You
Mauve?
would know. Mauve.
You look like you'd enjoy burgundy.
Yes, quite.
Bring out the color of your eyes.
Deep cobalt.
Surely going to
Oh.
a funeral in armor is perfectly normal.
I mean,
I mean,
for
honestly, for
dwarves, it might
dwarves-
be, yeah.
Yeah.
I like their comment saying
The cosplay as Death Eaters.
Yeah. Or like the Nazgul.
Let's go.
So,
Ooh.
what is
I
it
forgot
that you
about those
guys are
guys.
gonna do?
Well, I guess let's. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be obvious enough to find where to go. So let's just get out of here. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good.
You
All
heard
right.
the man.
Yeah. So, you guys know where you are. You moved from the market. You guys are in a somewhat residential side of the market. The house took a little bit to get to, but it is in very Theodric fashion to have a home that is not, out there in the public. Chi, let's speak up actually. You all should probably eat something as well. Keep your strength up.
No funeral food. That's good. That's a
Funeral
good point,
food.
though.
I think they'll have bread rolls.
They really aren't going to serve banquet food for us at the funeral? Come on.
Like
He's
an after
royalty.
brunch something. No. Okay.
Bereavement really leaves you feeling empty.
Really hungry.
Yeah.
Just say.
Have you ever
Yeah,
cried so
let's
much
get
that you
some.
needed a whole
Let's
box
get a
of
morning
hot, crispy,
meal.
fresh Krispy Kreme?
We could. Sad cookies.
Sad
Yeah.
cookies. No, also on sale next to the cloaks.
Sandwiches.
That's fun. That's funny.
That was Greenie. That's credit to Greenie.
Right. That's
But
good.
yeah, let's get out of this magic house.
I guess we're going.
I would like the McMorning
McMorning!
muffin.
Oh my lord.
It's good. It's good.
Funeral potatoes. Oh, also hi, Tegan.
Since he was
Ooh,
cremated,
cheese
they
breakfast.
might serve McLittles.
Oh my lord.
Can't go wrong
So,
with cheesy taters.
We're so good at campaigning.
That is so funny.
Mhm.
So you guys
hungry?
exit again. Outside. You can see a lot of people starting to move towards what would be the main event. Most of them wearing obviously darker colors, as they would all gather for the king's brother funeral. The city itself is very quiet. Not like the usual bustling area that is the market. In fact, most of the stalls are closed, and whoever is open is already closing to get ready for the ceremony that is going to take place. And you guys can quickly tell where everybody's going. They are going to some of the stairways to get to the upper levels of the city itself. Are you guys going to follow pretty much everybody who is just going around?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Go with the crowd.
Stalk them. Good idea.
Agreed.
Awesome. So yeah,
Wait, what?
you guys can just start moving with the crowd of people. You can see, like, as you guys go up into the higher levels of the city, there are more people around. They're all trying to gather. The ceremony is being held almost at the topmost levels, and you guys know that the keep itself is on the top level, but some of them are in the topmost level, and you can tell the gathering is very large. It's probably like the whole city in there. You can see people are holding out small candles for it and looking up to it, into the more crowded places. It's almost as if a small sea of fireflies are in there. Everybody's just
Ooh.
quiet. You can just hear murmurs and just, people talking about
About. Oh.
there's people talking about random things. Some people mentioning how, mundane stuff. Nothing that would caught your attention, because it is not a good day. It is a somber day for the whole town. You guys can, you guys make your way through, kind of moving around the crowds and trying to get into a better position. So you can see the funeral a little bit more up close. People are not really putting any resistance or just like, preventing you going up. They're all just kind of like staying their ground, being respectful. You do get a couple of odd looks from some guards, but your behavior around this town has not gone unnoticed, so you could say that it is also because of that. You guys managed to find eventually a nice spot where you are fairly close to the funeral. The place is silent, and you see how the king's guard is preparing the hall for the funeral. And obviously the area of the hall, it is closed off for everybody. You can see only large pillars followed by caskets, and on top of those, weapons displayed, and in Dwarvish, of course, written the names of the fallen people that have been buried there. Everything is very silent as the preparations start, and a few moments later you guys would see a small group of very heavily armored people, a different looking armor than the guards themselves. This one is more decorated, more regal, if you would. A small group of people carrying a large stone coffin. Even though, well, unfortunately, you guys saw the state of the king's brother. He was still to be given a normal closed coffin funeral. The coffin itself is made entirely out of stone, and it has some very beautiful golden decorations on the sides. The stone itself is carved into intricate designs with pillars and depictions of battles. It is a very large coffin, for a dwarf, that is. But you can see that the group is carrying it without any issue. Behind the group follows the king, wearing, of course, a much more darker clothing as per usual, and the king's family follows after. They're all, of course, mourning and pretty much just, sad for the loss of one of their family members. Once the casket is placed in the center of this hall, one of the priests, you could call them, starts giving an eulogy about how brave the king's brother was, how strong and steadfast, and how well he was able to rule the guard itself, because of course the king's brother was the general of their army. Everybody is like so silent. Even the soft whispers that you heard before of very mundane things are quiet now. Everybody is just listening to this eulogy that this dwarven priest is giving in very loudly, but his voice echoes through the whole mountain, pretty much. You don't know if it's just pure voice or it is magically enhanced, but it is a spectacle, to say the least. It is a very strong eulogy that the man is giving. After the speech ends, you can see that the king and his family walk over to the coffin to give their respects. Of course, some of them not being able to hold it together and breaking down in tears. The king itself he looks very gloom. His face is neutral as he approaches and just places a hand on the coffin, closing his eyes, potentially giving some words about, to his lost brother, let's say. And after the final goodbyes are being told, the king and his family move to a side, and the same group of very fancier armored people come together and walk over to the coffin to pick it up. Again, as I mentioned before, it would have been a very, very heavy thing to do, but for this group of people, it is almost like nothing. They just lift it up as if it was any random object, put it onto their shoulders, and they start walking further inside the hall. The priest and the king's family start with a chant. They start humming a soft melody with their deep voices. And suddenly, the people around you start joining. It is a conjoined effort between everybody in town that this murmur, this dirge, I think it's the correct word, is heard everywhere. It's almost as if the vibrations itself would move the mountain because of how perfectly coordinated it feels. The king also adds some rhythmic stomping to add more strength to this melody, to which the people start again imitating, and you feel the thumping of thousands and thousands of citizens, friends, people who trusted the general, joined in this somber tune together as the casket is being moved into the hall, into a spot designed specifically for the royal family. What are you guys doing at this moment?
So how far back are we from this the procession?
You guys can definitely see the things happening. You're not super close. You can tell that the closer you get to the level of this Hall of the Dead, we'll call them, the more packed with people it is. And while you were left to, kind of push your way through and just shimmy around, at that point you cannot really go through because there's a lot of people together. I would say you are far enough that you can see what is happening, but getting to that specific place, it will take a very big effort, or you would be looking very disrespectful while doing so.
Yeah.
Let's do that exact thing. It sounds like a good idea.
Do we spy the warden anywhere?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you can see that the warden is in this crowd of people closer to it. The warden and a line of guards, they are in front of this line of people, mostly keeping them at bay, but joining in on this song. They are hitting their lances and their hammers against their shields. They are making more thumping, making this eulogy even more powerful.
Maybe shimmy our way over towards them then. I feel like that would be our best chance at getting an audience.
Okay. You're gonna try and shimmy your way through to getting close to the warding. Okay. I would say give me a... What can I make you roll for? Let's see.
Roll for politeness.
Aww.
Roll for politeness. Let's see.
Roll
What?
for fireball.
Damn.
No.
Wow.
That ain't good. That ain't good.
No.
Too soon.
I mean, haven't they had enough?
Yeah.
You could
Enough
try.
fire.
You could try and be like a little bit. It's gotta be a dexterity roll because you're trying to just like kind of shimmy your way and like move through. I would say you can either do. Yeah, you can either give me a. Yeah, just give me a dexterity roll, normal dexterity. It just doesn't really fit to any skill per se.
All right.
Strength to pick up a dwarf and move the dwarf.
The old character sheet.
For the
That
rest
should
of
be
you,
relatively easy for me.
yeah. Oh, damn. Okay.
Nice.
For the rest of you, what are the three of you doing?
So are we all going together then?
If you want to,
To head over there?
you
I
can
figured
try it.
going together.
Okay.
Okay. Well then, I'm gonna like shapeshift into like a tiny form so I can just go beneath everyone's feet and go and scuttle.
Okay. What tiny
Over there.
form are you looking at? Like a mouse?
You know what?
or-
No, it's too small. I don't want to get squished. I'll do a cat.
Okay. Well, you're already a cat, so like, yeah.
I'd be a smaller cat.
I know.
Even smaller, more adorable cat,
I
if it's
fit-
even
I fit-
possible.
You are now a cat-sized snow leopard, like house cat-sized snow leopard. As
Meow.
You have been domesticated.
as you shift into a cat and start just walking through, below everybody's legs, just moving through. For you, Taurin, you're not even gonna have to roll. You are a cat. You can just walk everybody. It is a little bit. You can see some people are like, whoa, but they're not making a fuss about it.
No one's
Everybody's
minding
cat.
a little kitty cat.
Exactly.
Just pet me. You'll feel
Everybody's
better.
just going. Everybody's just joining in on this eulogy. What about you, Kipper? What are you doing? Are you just going to continue with Rexmoa?
So Rexmoa was going to. I think I zoned out a tiny bit. Was he going to give condolences at the
Well,
grave
I was
itself, or
heading
was that a
towards the
little too
warden,
close?
who was relatively closer than the royal procession.
I
Yeah,
think.
'cause the-
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
the
I
warden and
definitely
the
agree
guards
with
are
that.
acting as like making sure no one can get like too close to the family and whatnot.
Yeah. Very good. I'll continue.
Right, you're gonna go with Rexmoa and Ambrose.
I will like slowly make my way over to where Rexmoa is heading, but I'm not going to make like a serious effort. I
Okay.
appear to be more focused on just watching the procession itself.
Ambrose, would you mind giving me a perception check, please?
I can do that. That's an 8.
Alrighty. So,
I'm starting off strong.
so
Rexmoa.
let's see. So, Rexmoa, with your pretty much agility, your dexterity, you are able to shimmy through the people. You can feel Kipper's hand on your shoulder, kind of being guided by you. Kipper, you're not gonna make your roll because I will take that 25. That is an insane roll. So you can just follow him very closely.
good.
You do get pushed a little bit as you know he's trying
Because I'm
to.
short.
Yes, well, they're all dwarves, so.
Well,
you know.
I'm okay. Never mind. I'm tall.
So you do get pushed a little bit, or like you kind of make some people like a little bit uncomfortable as you're like shimmying through, but following close to Rexmoa, he's definitely opening a path that you are following easier. Oh, she lets out a sharp breath. She then casts a spell message to Ambrose. Ambrose, in your head, you suddenly hear the words of your fairy companion. She says, "Ahead, something feels wrong."
No, I'm pretty sure with message I am allowed to respond back.
Correct. You can respond back.
Kind of suddenly broken up about what I was thinking about along with the procession. I will glance down at the jar attached to my hip and whisper back as only she can hear it. What do you mean? I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
I will say, the three of you, specifically, Rexmoa and Taurin, you are able to move your way through the crowd with no issues at all. Kipper, you're following along. It's a little bit difficult for you, and you get a little bit of murmurs of people, somebody being like, "Yo, don't be disrespectful," and shit like that. But you are able to follow through, and slowly but very surely you guys are making your way through the barrier of people and getting closer to the warden as you guys speak. And she sends another message to you, Ambrose. In your mind, you hear the echoing voice. Traces of bad, dark magic.
Where can you point it out to me?
Ambrose, you at this point have been, trying to walk behind Kipper and Rexmoa, but the people are starting to get a little bit too crowded, and you are not trying to be disrespectful, so you are not pushing them or moving away. The path that Rexmoa is doing, it's like making it just kind of, people just kind of split for a second and then just join back together again. So it's kind of awkward. You are a large person, so it's kind of difficult for you to not be rude in this moment. And she shakes her head. Then again, she says, "Just ahead. Be careful." Ambrose, you take a moment to, take in the words of your fairy companion. You really haven't felt anything weird at all. The chanting and the stomping and everything, sure, it's a little bit overwhelming if you're not used to these powerful rites. But
I have an idea.
ooh, okay, all right. Are you going to use Divine Sense?
I would like to use Divine Sense to see if I can feel any sort of presence or dark magics that she is trying to inform me of.
Indeed. As you cast this spell, you focus. The stone in the hilt of your blade glows momentarily as you focus, and suddenly the aura of divinity starts being like a sonar to you. And as these waves of divine sense are being pushed out, you feel it. There is something, not in the Hall of the Dead, not by your friends, but to a side, further away. It is in between the crowd. Ambrose, you lift yourself up to try and take a glance. And what you see makes you shiver slightly. Ambrose, on the far end of this procession, you see an individual covered entirely with robes that you know very well. They are looking straight at you, as if he was wanting for you to see them. Ambrose, Vieren is at the other side of this procession. And the energy that you feel is indeed coming from him.
Oh, I see.
Oh my.
Well, she would definitely notice a very different shift in demeanor of myself as I look over and witness this said person. The glowing veins that Ambrose has, even underneath his clothing, seem that are normally somewhat bright enough that you'd be able to make them out, have suddenly grown exceptionally dull to the point where it's almost like they aren't even there. And I will stare in that kind of side-off direction for several moments before silently trying to move myself through the crowd, away from Rexmoa and instead towards the robes.
Okay.
I will say nothing to Chi.
Interesting. So Chi would be messaging in your mind, what is wrong? But she gets no answer. Instead, you start moving through this large sea of people and to the person that you've seen at the end. Slowly, actually, I would say, how are you going to try and approach this man through the crowd?
Definitely not as respectful as I should be. I'm not going to, like, push people out of the way by any means, but I am going to be making a serious effort to move over.
Alright, then just give me a normal, like, strength check. Just normal strength. Again, you're not trying to push them, but you're still kind of like, you know, moving them aside and stuff. Okay.
14.
Alright. Pretty good, pretty good. You're slowly trying to make your way through the people. Some of them just put some resistance and you gotta like apologize. It's just like you're moving. You're definitely making some progress. It is slow, but you're walking closer and closer to the man in robes. The man is staring. He is not moving whatsoever. As you get closer and closer, until you reach a certain point, the man just turns around and walks off into another side of this large procession, until passing through some pillars and buildings you would lose sight of him.
I will do my absolute best to follow him.
All right, give me another strength check. And she will also cast protection from evil and good on you.
21.
Okay. Yeah, this time you're a little bit more serious about how you're making your way through this person. You're starting to push people a little bit. Now it's starting to get a little bit less respectful. At first you were like, oh, excuse me, I need to pass, stuff like that. But now you're just like head on to your objective. And you make your way to where this person was, only to see that he's entirely gone. The feeling of your divine sense can no longer pick up anything in its radius. Look around, you only see the morning people, and Viren has disappeared. She would say this time, instead of messaging, the magic was wrong, rotten.
I am still, like, in the crowd, though, correct?
Yes. You have moved to the spot where you saw the errand, but now there is nobody there. And as I said, your divine sense does not pick up anything now. And she is looking a little nauseated.
Yeah, go ahead. I will be almost frantically looking around, trying to do my absolute best to find the robes I saw before, and quickly realizing that it's gone as fast as it came. She can very easily notice that I have started crying very heavily.
The crying may be like covered by the mourning and the chanting and all of that, but yeah, if she would notice, then you're definitely crying.
But I will continue to be silent. I will not say anything.
And, well, for the three of you that were approaching the guard, all of you managed to get next to him pretty much. Well, you're behind him at this point, because he is looking towards the Hall of the Dead. And all of you are behind him, the small leopard printed house cat, and you, Kipper, and Ambrose. Not Ambrose, sorry, Rexmoa. Confusion there.
There's two of me!
So what are you guys doing?
So what is the warden currently doing? So is he also joining in on like the ceremonial like stamping?
Yep, everybody is. At this point, you can see that like this song, this like murmur or like humming, has changed into a different tone for another type of song. As the casket is being placed down and everybody's just kind of, giving their last goodbyes. The royal family, that is, over there at the end of the Hall of the Dead.
Well, I'll look towards my companions and I'll say, well, it feels kind of rude to try to get his attention, but I do think it's imperative that we have an audience with the king. And so far, he's the friend who we know in the highest place.
Do you think they'll be finished within a few minutes? I feel...
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, I guess... I guess we should say something then? I'm just assuming that you know these things.
I have an idea of what to know.
That seemed pretty confident.
Well, this is a situation that I only have some experience in. And I look towards the spotted cat who has blessed us with their presence. Any ideas?
Maybe a light tap on the shoulder?
Taurin can go up against the leg and kind of like do a little purr.
That's
You know
creepy.
Get the attention.
That's creepy.
You know, I think honestly that might be
It's
as
less
good an
than
idea as
basic.
any. We'll start
You're like
with the subtle.
You're like a humanoid.
As concerning as that sounds, it might work simply because the warden at this point, I think he does know that you are a shapeshifting druid.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
And
think
then you
knows.
can just get him to turn around, and then he'll see us, and then he'll be like, and then we can have our little conversation.
That's
I
all I'm
mean,
doing. I'm not
hey,
doing
the
anything.
warden has to like us a tiny bit.
Yeah, we did save those miners.
Yeah, I think he does like us. It's just not a great time, and also it's really weird to turn
is
into
terrible
a
timing.
cat. No, yeah, it's just like normal thing to do, tap him on the shoulder. Weird thing to do, turn into a cat and then rub against his legs.
I mean, we're trying to be subtle. We don't want to make a scene.
Yes, the night before we did make mention to the warden that it would be a very good idea to inform the king of what's happened, specifically down below because of Bithius.
That's true. So he might have
So-
already mentioned something.
Perhaps, or at very minimum, we may already have like a lead to get to the king. But obviously, the funeral was not a good time.
Yeah, I feel like just
It's just the
bad
main
things
issue.
and disrespect will happen.
Anyway, though,
Oh.
I'm not actually with you guys to have this conversation.
That is true. But we can at least ask him, hey, how long does this last? That might seem insensitive, actually.
Yeah,
now
I don't
that I
know if
think
this
about
is
it.
any better.
I
It's like
wanted
when I
to see
used
his
to
reaction.
go to service with my family, and then I'd ask, and then they told me to be quiet.
Yeah. You go to like your great aunt's funeral, and it's like 10 minutes in, and you're like, how much longer are we gonna be here? What?
Wait, okay. Operation Taurin hint go.
And Taurin's cat form will walk up to the warden,
Okay.
and then instead of doing the little cat motion, like rubbing against the leg, I'll just do a little head bop, like head. I don't know how the cat's kind of like
okay.
with her forehead
I got
on the back
you,
of the
I
leg.
got you.
There you go.
Immediately
Since it was kind of
punched
creepy.
you.
Oh,
Damn.
you don't like cats?
It takes you a few times, but in the end, you catch the warden's attentions. He looks down at you, a little bit confused about the cat that is just bumping his leg. And, especially
I'll
about
do a little twirl.
the specific kind of fur that it has.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll like point like at
The paw with the paw.
Rexmoa with the
Mm.
paw and go meow.
The warden is certainly like curious about what you're doing. As you point, he turns and sees all of you, and he stops his chanting and turns to face you, and he says, "Well, I thought you'd be here after the ceremony."
The timeline has shifted a bit, and I thought it was imperative that we secure an audience with the king, perhaps. I know this is a time of mourning for everyone, us included, but we've made some developments since our last meeting that have changed things.
We also came here to pay our respects.
That's quite nice of you. Well, I can still keep my promise. I will try and get you an audience with the king, but give him a moment, at least until the funeral is done.
Aye.
Flicks her tail.
And he just kind of looks around. No, he turns to look at the king and the family. You can see all of you, now that you're closer, you can see that the family is just kind of praying with the priest. They're doing like a smaller kind of prayer as the people outside are still chanting and stomping and joining in. As I said, you guys can feel the rumble of the mountain as this funeral is taking place from all of the percussion and the chanting. The warden then turns back to you and he says, after a few prayers, this should be done. Wait for me around. I can probably grant you a small audience. But please, I ask of you, be mindful of what you say.
Of course.
Good. Then just hang around for a moment. This will be done soon.
I try to spy Ambrose in the crowd since it
I
seems
kind of
like
stand out.
yeah,
You
he's
do.
the only one not with us at the moment.
Yeah, you do.
I
still-
am in not the same location.
Exactly. You turn around to see if he's following behind, but you cannot find him like in your direct, like, I guess, rear. And you look around, but then you see him at the other side pretty much of this large group of people, this crowd. And you can see he has his head down. He's just kind of, at the other side.
Originally, I was paying very close attention to the funeral, but now I'm not. I looking down, kind of have a hand over my face.
She would have waited a bit. Then send a message to Rexmoa. Okay, what are you gonna send to Rexmoa? Oh, she says, Rexmoa again, you hear the echoing voice in your head. Ambrose needs you. Come quickly, please.
Okay. Well, I turn to Kipper and Taurin and I say, you all wait here with the warden. It seems like Ambrose could use some assistance. I thought about it. I thought about jumping. I shouldn't. So yeah, I'll do my nimble little, crowd pass without trace.
There you go.
And then just like
Trace.
just make my way over towards Ambrose and try to see what's going on.
Okay. I would say that going out is much easier than trying to, go through the crowd to get closer. Because obviously at some point, they're just kind of moving away from you. Is anybody else following? Kipper, Taurin?
Kipper's definitely gonna just keep following.
I can sit by the warden. One of us has to, right?
Yeah. Taurin, you can stay there as a little kitty cat, sitting next to the warden.
Cuddle right up next to
Cool.
him, I suppose.
Heck yeah.
Yeah?
Man, she's trying to bag a second one.
Here I am.
And you, Kipper, you're just going?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Rexmoa.
All right, awesome. Yeah, you guys can move over to where Ambrose is. It takes you a little while because, you know, some people don't want to move. Some people are like, hey, move out of the way and stuff like that. But eventually you do reach Ambrose's location and you see him as he was describing himself.
I'll just rest my hand on Ambrose's shoulder and I'll ask, is there something more than the funeral going on right now?
I will keep my head in my hand for a few moments, and as I kind of bring my head up, it's very obvious that the glowing veins that you're used to seeing among me are very dull and barely vibrant at all. The same thing that you witness whenever I'm starting to feel self-doubt or struggling with something internally, or even just getting very heavily injured. But when I raise my face and I glance over at you, I'm almost not even really looking at you, but around. And you can see that there is just tears streaming down my face, which I don't believe has happened entirely before. I know I've cried a couple of times, but I am very nearly, like, bawling my eyes out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, lad, you don't have to explain yourself. Take all the time you need. Just know that we have an appointment with the warden after the funeral's over. And I don't try to sneak back or anything. I think I'm just gonna stick with Ambrose and wait for the funeral to reach its close.
Yeah, it will take a little bit, a few minutes, or like half an hour or to an hour maybe. And eventually, you know, the chanting would have stopped and the people would start dispersing as everybody else returns to their own, you know, daily activities. Slowly, all of the dead starts getting more and more empty until, you know, you are pretty much left with whoever, with the guards that are around there. The king and his family have already left before this, but the warden is still waiting for you.
Yeah, I'll just subtly guide Ambrose over, and I assume, Kipper, you'll be joining us.
Yeah.
Back to the warden. Are you still a cat, Taurin?
And for everyone to leave so I turn back so I don't freak anybody out.
That's a good idea. Yep.
Kipper's, I guess Kipper's gonna see Ambrose just crying that much and kind of going in suit with what Rexmoa just said. Kipper's just gonna kind of like do the Kipper thing to do and kind of like reach for Ambrose's hand, just kind of in quiet solidarity, I guess. Don't know if that's a good idea, but that's what Kipper would do.
I'll say as the crowd thins, I'm trying to, like, brush the tears off and, like, scan the crowd, trying to search for the robes I saw. I mean, I doubt I'm going to
Robes
see
are
anything,
gone.
but
Yep, there is nothing there, and as everybody leaves, it is more apparent.
Not a lot of humans left, I'm assuming.
Well, not a lot of dwarves.
Not a lot of dwarves, yeah.
Still human enough.
True,
Yeah.
true. But yeah, as I said, Ambrose, the person in robes has completely gone.
guess it's time for Taurin to come back to her normal cat self.
Yeah, you just switch back into your normal appearance now.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, it kind of takes the guards around you by surprise. But it's like, oh, you know, it's a druid. They're like, oh, okay.
Do like a hair flip.
Yeah. Exactly. They all like address you, and the warden just kind of tells you to stay put and to call the rest.
I would say even after the procession has gotten close to its ending, I'm not doing much better.
I guess while we wait for the warden to return, I think it's good to... Well, I'll just say it in character. So, the warden did have a point. We have to be very careful with our words. And I don't know exactly what kind of state the king would be in, but I doubt it's as amicable and calm as he normally would be, which, between you and me, even on the best day, dwarven kings were never known for their temperament.
So,
Well, our main goal is to prevent any conflict between the kingdoms. That's the least we could do for Galarian.
And for the citizens of both kingdoms.
Indeed.
We were.
I don't think we should... You can speak first.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. We were going to try and divert their attention to the Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the freaking group.
The Cult of Fire.
The Cult of Fire. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct. And I think it's important that we're only here to inform. We're not here to make demands. I doubt that would go in our favor, trying to tell a king what to do.
Nah, that's the best we can do. Just give them the information and then see what happens after that point.
And I turn my gaze towards Kipper, and I say, I feel like I've given this little talk a few times now, but I feel the need to emphasize the importance now more than ever to perhaps remove ourselves a bit from the conversation. It's not just us talking. I know you have your own ideals on how the world should work and how we should all be striving towards the same purpose, but we're gonna have to be a little more grounded when we get our audience. We might not even get to share that many words with him.
Chi mentions, before all that, I think you should at least drink some water.
Yeah. Totally forgot. Yeah, I'll take out my little water pouch flask. Yeah.
He just casted the hydrate redeem.
Hydrate.
So,
Hydrate or dihydrate?
if you guys can just, have a drink of water.
And
As you guys are
also,
waiting.
Kipper will say in response to what Rexmoa said. Don't worry about me this time. This is a man in grief. I do not intend to shatter any of his worldviews. Plus, he's not Sylvana, so I think I'll be fine.
That he's not.
So you guys are deciding to wait until the warden is back, correct?
Yes, I definitely think that's the move here.
All right. Yeah, if that is the case, it takes a little while. The guards at this point have also dispersed. You are just pretty much standing in front of this Hall of the Dead, where you can see multiple, burial structures around. After several minutes, again, probably like half an hour or so, the warden comes back and very quietly just kind of gestures for you to follow him as he goes and starts heading up into another one of the more stairways that the place has.
Yep. I'll give a subtle nod and continue on and just follow him.
Perfect. Yeah, everybody else all good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. So the warden would take you slowly into the upper levels, even higher than what you've already been before, towards the keep. The keep is a very large place, again, entirely built out of stone. The area has very large statues of past kings, all carved with the representative armor of the kingdom. Large pillars everywhere. The room is a little bit echoey because of how tall it is. You see guards posted every few meters between them. Entrances to side areas of the keep. And eventually the warden kind of moves you into a side entrance, just getting clearance from the other guards and everything like that. It doesn't seem to be any issues. Like, the warden was able to safely get you inside without any suspicion or anything. Not that you have any reason to be suspicious, but it is, after all, the royal guard, not your normal city guard we're talking about. You guys get moved through some other hallways until you reach a center room with very large stone doors that are closed. The warden just kind of says, "All right, well, the king is there right now. I suggest you make it fast, point, and please don't say anything you may regret."
Thank you for the wise words.
I was able to get you this meeting, but that is all I can do. I cannot help you convince the king, the whole empire.
The audience alone is of great help. Thank you very much.
He nods and he pushes the doors open to another hall. This one is made out of polished stone. Again, very large area with some stairways leading to a throne made out of a combination between a stone with golden details. In the throne, you can see sitting down is the king. He is kind of, he's sitting down, a hand against his face as he is, quiet in this room. It is pin drop silent. Like, your footsteps echo in this room of how silent it is. There are a few guards inside of this area, but they're all just keeping their posts. They're not moving at all. And once you guys enter, the warden just kind of gives you a thumbs up and then just leaves. He cannot stay there.
It's that silent. You might hear Ambrose sniffling every once in a while.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So I guess we should just approach until it looks like a guard like gestures to stop us or something. A respectful amount.
Yeah,
And also,
Mhm.
I was just gonna say close enough that it won't be awkward to yell across the hall.
Yeah, you start approaching. Again, your footsteps echo in this silent room until you see the king raise a hand for you to stop. It is below the stairway that would lead to the throne.
Yeah. Rexmoa immediately stops, like, on a dime and then takes a knee.
Taurin would curtsy. A low curtsy.
All right.
Kipper would give a knee and a strong bow.
Okay. All right. Ambrose, anything on your end?
Obviously, a bit sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
I will bow and kneel before the king.
Okay.
You know, keeping my head down.
So, as after everybody bows and shows like their respects, he doesn't say anything, but he just gestures for you to get up. He kind of rubs his brows a little bit, and he looks up at you. Again, you see the king of Galvathier in the flesh, right in front of you. He says, well, a meeting has been arranged with your group. What do you want from me? You can see, by the way, now closer you can see that the regal clothes that he is wearing is very elegant, decorated with different gemstones, and it's almost half armor rather than just clothes themselves. And obviously the crest of the flame fist, which is on the chest piece of this man, is very visible.
Yeah. And so this is more on Flame Fist, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Great King of Galvathier, we heard of your brother's recent passing, and we send our sincerest prayers of comfort to you and your family. And then, again, Taurin will bow her head.
We thank you for the audience, and we've come here to deliver information relevant to your brother's passing.
You can see he's kind of like, he groans a little at the sound of like you giving the courtesy and everything. He's just kind of not feeling it. But as you mentioned this information about his brother's passing, he looks up and he says, "Go on, I'm listening."
The group responsible is called the Cult of the Flame, and their current leader, what's their name again?
Fisher.
Fisher? Okay. Do we know what species, race Fisher is or was?
He's like half elf.
Okay, well, we'll exclude that part.
Yeah, it was one of the issues that was causing worry.
Yeah.
Because we're technically here on a diplomatic mission, and the person who literally killed his brother is a half-elf.
Yeah.
And their leader, the Dragon Rider who invaded your kingdom, is the one responsible for the death of your brother.
You can see the king just listens to you, but as you keep talking, his expression changes to a little bit more of an annoyance rather than just genuine interest. He starts shaking his head, just saying no constantly. And he says, "Don't come to my hall and lie to me in this time."
Hmm. Hmm.
We don't come to lie. It's just we're sharing the information we've gathered in our travels.
Hmm. Hmm. The Cult of Fire, their purpose is to bring chaos to this world, to topple kingdoms, to bring the end of civilized society, as it were. And we believe that this attack on your kingdom was an instigation of sorts to sow this chaos.
He stands up from his throne and he starts pacing side to side. He says, "This attack to my kingdom, my people, my family was not led by any cult." He moves over to the side and he gestures to a guard. The guard just kind of nods and just walks over to a side room quickly as he keeps pacing. And he says again, "I will give you one chance. Speak the truth. Do not come to my hall and lie to my face when I just had to bury the burned remains of my brother."
Kipper's going to step forward. In honesty, Your Highness, we are not just here to give you the information to relay what has happened. On my part, this is also a path of revenge. The one that rode the dragon took someone dear to me, my sister. So, when I tell you that I am not lying, I would hope that you'd see the emotion in my face and know that is true. But past that, there's nothing I can do to assuage your concerns or annoyances.
Kipper, give me a persuasion check, please.
I'm so scared.
Don't be scared.
I have like a 1 in persuasion.
Be moderately scared.
Channeling my energy.
Greenie, can you do a bardic inspiration? Does that work for something like this?
It does work.
Oh my goodness, yes, please. Okay, I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna find out if it works without it.
Chi, are you giving Kipper a bardic inspiration?
Please, please.
Okay, so Chi. Oh.
I hate.
Goodness
every-
gracious!
Oh.
I've never rolled a good persuasion.
Oh. Okay.
I have no charisma.
Did you roll?
I would have hoped that you would have just let my smooth delivery of that do it, not a stupid roll of chance.
Okay.
Well,
No.
what's the repercussion of this?
I don't even wanna. Kipper's just gonna like cast like not exist in this area anymore.
Technically, wasn't it kind of a 1?
Yes. So as you speak,
I rolled a nat 1.
the king stops to listen to you, and he says, I'm sorry your family has had to live a similar fate. But that is more of a reason why you should be angry. We should not be letting this happen. Let them come to us and kill the people we love, and then run away to their cities, their oh so perfect forest cities. And you see how the guard that was being caught off to the side comes back with something on his hands covered by a cape. And the king walks over to the guard and takes the item, and he pulls off the cape and he tosses the item into the stairway, and you can hear the clanking of metal as it bounces from stairway to stairway, and it lands in front of you guys at your feet. Staring down, you see the crest of Galranthier imprinted in a helmet with the eagle-shaped characteristic of the Galranthier army.
King of the dwarves. As I speak, it's obvious that I'm still thinking about something else this entire time, but I'm trying to compose myself. I understand. I perfectly understand. But please, think of what's going on. Think of what all of this could mean. If the elves were to do so easily give away what they were doing, they'd be inviting you on their doorstep. It would cause issues among their own people. There is a third party here, trying to stir trouble among everyone. What my friends here have said are not lies, they are telling the truth. I know that you do not believe this. I know that you have every reason to think that the elves are the only cause. But this cult of fire, they work in the shadows. They take and they stash away things. This is a ploy to make the elves and the dwarves fight amongst each other, so that they can benefit from it. We have been going around this entire time, trying to undo what they're doing. Please, at least give us a chance, and think.
Give me a persuasion check, Ambrose. This time, because of your unfortunate previous nat 1, Kipper, it's gonna be at disadvantage.
Remember, Greenie, you can bardically inspire it. I can't believe I gave you a disadvantage with how bad my roll was.
It happens.
All right, you get a bardic inspiration. Okay. The king again looks very frustrated at what you're saying. He's pacing side to side of the throne. He is still shaking his head, denying what you are saying. And he goes, once you start explaining this whole thing and how it would, you know, be bad for the elves and how it would lead him to his doorstep, he just kind of perks up a little bit and he says, "You seem to have a good understanding of the Elven militia. Who are you?
We are travelers. I am from Mistbell. I'm gonna point to Rexmoa because I forget the names of the towns everyone's from. Oh wait, this here is Rexmoa. He comes from Sea Marrow?
Yep.
Don't
I
say that in
nod.
character.
Yeah, yeah. Rexmoa just nods. Yes.
Yes, that is the one. Yes.
Mm. Ambrose comes from Port Strail, and Taurin comes from
These
these.
very mountains, far north. She'll
We
kind of
didn't-
interject like that. Sorry.
We never truly intended to form a party. It just happened this way, honestly. Just the circumstances surrounding what is happening to this world. It goes further than the Cult of Fire, and it goes further than the Elven Kingdom, the Dwarven Kingdom, Mistbell, Port Strail, the entirety of everything. It's whether you decide to take our advice or not, I just urge you to exercise caution going forward. Because what is happening now is just a symptom of a deeper, more insidious disease. The Titans are waking up. And the Cult of Fire are looking to encourage it. Whether or not that sounds believable isn't necessarily for us to decide. I just hope that you at least tuck that into the back portions of your mind.
Kipper, one final persuasion check, please.
Okay.
This one is gonna be normal.
I like normal because it's already a disadvantage with me. Please, no whammy.
There you go.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Okay.
Nice 20.
Okay.
Reverse.
Okay.
That's where my nat 20 went.
All right. You can see the king listening to your words. You are being pretty sincere about what you're saying and the things that you are mentioning. At some point, you can tell he kind of considers it. He looks different for a brief moment as you are explaining the situation. But then he shakes his head again and he says, I'm sorry. I am not going to take advice from somebody not from my kingdom. You may have felt what I felt, but this cannot go unpunished. I agree. I must take care of my people. And if that means crushing the people who are trying to harm us, then so be it.
If we manage to find any physical evidence that would suggest the existence of this cult of fire and their backing behind blindness, would that potentially change any of your actions?
The king goes back to his throne and sits down. He points at the helmet by your feet and says, I don't need more evidence. My decision is final. I will be raising my armies, and we will be marching towards their precious forests.
Before acting on rash decisions like this, in this time, we should be grieving. You should reflect on the information you shared instead. The passion of revenge burning chest should be used against the real themes behind all this pain. And it's not to those within the forest. For they too share the same enemy. The call to fire.
With the words of Kipper and now you, Taurin, trying to make this make sense for him, he would sigh and he just nods and says, you're right. It's the time for grieving. I need time to think. I cannot promise you anything. I will not let an offense like this go without any consequences. What kind of king would I be? But you make a fair point. And how can you not? You are from these mountains after all.
Yeah.
You see him rubbing his brows again. Rexmoa, to answer the question that you just gave me in the DMs, you feel oddly calm, but you understand that this is a constant feeling that the exposure to the stone has on you. However, if you focus on it, you would sense a slight urgency.
I take a step forward towards the staircase and the king.
You can see the guards are immediately like, you know, they are onto you. They're just looking at you directly.
Bold. Taurin was saying under her breath.
I know you have no reason to trust us unless you have proper evidence. And I assure you, even though we were sent here by Galarian of the High Council in the Elven City, we do not work for them. Our purpose is to alleviate the suffering of this world. And if you would give me a chance, I can show you that we're telling the truth.
At the mention of the Council of Elves, he looks at you and he raises a hand and he just says, "Get them out." The guards immediately start to move to your position, all of you, the group.
Okay, how is this room laid out, and how high up does the staircase go?
Okay, so it's a long, very large hallway. Because you know this is made for audiences, so you would imagine that there is room enough to have some people. Obviously, there is a stairway, very sizable stairway, a few meters up, leading to the throne and the king. You can see some side entrances from the side of the king and some other side entrances from the door you came in. Other than that, I mean, it's empty besides the guards that are, you know, now moving to you guys.
There's no need for aggression. We'll head out. Taurin will kind of take a step back, of course. Then she'll look back up the king. But please, take time and rest for now. And then, if you need proof, we can find that for you. Real proof, if that's what you're looking for, of who's behind all this pain.
She whispers, "We have outstayed our welcome to Ambrose."
I think Kipper's going to grab the arms of Rexmoa and Taurin, just assuming that Ambrose is still kind of farther to the left, and then just kind of start pulling them back towards the doorway. And Kipper's going to say, "Thank you for giving us the time of day, especially on a day like this. We'll take our leave now."
You can talk first.
Okay. I will speak up a bit louder than I have been. There's one more thing you have to know before we go. This is important to your entire kingdom. Perhaps you already know, but the legend of Vithius being underneath these lands is real. And due to the call to fire, she is waking up.
At your words, Ambrose, he stands up, banging his fist against his throne. You can hear the impact echo through the hallway. And he says, "I will not tolerate you speak in the name of our mother. You are nothing but a spy. You're all spies. Get out of here before I take your heads." The guards at this point already are, you know, kind of starting to push you back. So you leave the area.
Taurin's ears would kind of flatten against her head when he called us spies. Like, oh.
I will allow them to push me back, but I will also say, I can give you proof. But I care for Vithius as much as you do.
You can tell the king is, again, annoyed and clearly very angry at the things. He kind of shakes his head, feeling almost defeated. And he just kind of waves dismissively as he starts heading from one of the side exits. And the guards just keep pushing you. At this point, the king is taking his leave, and you hear him mention the warden.
Well, if the king's taking his leave, I suppose there's no point in trying to overextend our stay.
Time to go.
I think Ambrose was about to use the stone, though.
To use the awesome ability, like, look at this!
You would not use that without permission. That would be seen as an act of aggression.
I am a god!
Understood.
That would easily be taken as I'm attacking the king.
Yeah, no, that is true.
Too Kratosy. Got it.
Aww. Kratos me this, Kratos man.
Indeed, indeed. So, then, you guys are going to be leaving, I'm assuming. Okay. You are being escorted by the guards. They are not putting a lot of, like, force into it because, you know, you are deciding to willingly leave. However, they are still, like, standing their ground. So, eventually you'll be let out of the room first. The doors would be closed and closed behind you, and more guards would walk over and try to escort you out of the royal keep.
Tail low, ears flat, looking somber as we walk on out of the room, I guess.
Music to my ears. Thank you.
So wait, did the warden get called over to the king, or
The last thing you heard
do we
was
see him anywhere?
the last thing you heard was mention of the ward. As for what, you can't really tell.
I think he's in trouble.
I hope not.
What are those guys here for? They're a bunch of freaking weirdos.
So are we outside now?
Yes, you would have been escorted outside the royal keep, and you can see that the guards that are usually in their positions are now blocking your entrance.
I feel like maybe I should have reminded you to be careful in the presence of His Highness.
We're running out of time and options. We can't let him mobilize his army and start marching toward Galrinthir.
We need.
I feel like we at least bought time with the grieving, but I think once you mentioned that we were sent by the Elven High Council, that kind of just brought the rage back up inside of him.
Yes, that was my mistake. A gamble that didn't pay off.
It's okay. It's not like I didn't do that while we were in Galrinthia.
I guess we're rubbing off on each other.
I would say so. I was the calm, collected one this time, and you were the one that upsets people.
I turn and look back at the guards just standing in front of the room. Well, I guess we have no more business here.
At least we tried. That's all we could do.
And she chimes in.
Yes, sir.
All we can try to do is try to continue with your mission. But what kind of proof could we even bring in that he would believe?
Got an idea. You see, we track down one of the bad guys from the Cult of Fire, right? And then we knock him out, steal his armor, tie him up, bring him back with us. Easy, right?
Hmm.
Wait, so
They
you want to bring
self-immolate.
a tied-up naked man to the Dwarven King? When
Yes.
the Cult of Fire will most surely just make him explode because they all seem to be able to explode.
Well, now if we knock him out, he'll be unconscious and he can't explode, right?
How do
He'd
you
be
knock
sleeping.
him out unconscious without him exploding, though?
Hmm. We'll write it down. Any ideas are good ideas right now.
Sleeping potions can always work.
Oh, I'd also
That
like
is-
to imagine that we're like walking and talking as we're making our way out of the. Are we being escorted out, or did they just like
They let
kick us
you
out to a
guys-
point?
Yeah, they kicked you out of the royal keep. They are just, not letting you pass there. So you're free to go.
Hmm. Okay. So, yeah,
But yeah,
walking
the
and
royal
talking.
keep is pretty much off limits for you.
Mhm.
I think there is still an opportunity to change his mind. If he, at the bottom of his heart, really thought we were spies, in the rage he felt for his brother's death, he would have executed us immediately.
I agree with you on that point. So
Hmm.
there's still some doubt there.
He's still just in the initial stages of hurt. And he'll still be there for a long time to come. It's the easy scapegoat that he's going to latch on to. It's just a matter of when he will enact his plans.
Hmm. Actually, thinking about it more, Taurin, you might have a point.
Hmm?
The Cult of Fire. There's no way they would just invade randomly. They need spies on the inside, information. It's not a coincidence that they were able to swoop in, swoop out, and get their mission done.
You're
There
right.
needs to be someone within the city walls who knew what's going on. And
we-
exactly.
Hmm.
And perhaps to monitor the chaos they wish to cause, they could still be here.
They'd have
But-
to blend in.
Yeah, would we be looking for a dwarf?
Maybe a weird tattoo, a marking,
Hmm.
of some
When
sort.
we came upon
doubt-
them previously, it wasn't any one race.
Yes.
But
And-
they're a cult. They have to have some kind of marking to prove their loyalty, don't they?
It might be something we can't even perceive. Magic tattoo? Code phrase?
Where to
Ambrose,
start?
I'm sorry to change the subject, but did something happen in there before we entered the chamber during the procession?
I will look down at you, and the focus had originally been on the king and trying to figure out solutions suddenly shifts back to what happened. And I frown greatly,
It's a yes.
and I'll say, I
Torn leans in.
Viren was there. I saw my mentor.
He was there? At the procession?
Yes,
We're not
I,
doubting you, it's just a curious occurrence.
I'm still not sure if I imagined it, honestly. Being
Torna.
surrounded by the dwarves and the eulogy they were giving. Maybe I imagined it. No, I must have. imagined it.
She said a thing.
That's what I was about to do. Just waiting for you guys to stop talking. She says,
Never.
"Yes, I felt him and the magic, dark magic."
Another thread in the web.
What if he
I
helped?
I don't
No,
think
he definitely didn't. He would never do anything like that.
there is a potential that he's being dragged along with this. Unrelated to this incident, but if Fisher's somehow become involved, I didn't realize how deeply connected we were to what was going on.
There is no one in this entire world that has as much willpower as he does. I refuse to believe he has any play in this.
But tell me, do you wish to find him?
I need to find him. It is the entire reason I am even out here.
Well, Galvathy is a big place, and frankly, our efforts are best spent pursuing as many avenues to divert this upcoming conflict as possible. So we have your master. Look for potential spies within the city. Well, I feel like 2 ideas between 5 people is plenty. And
Oh, sorry. I was just about to say, for detecting potential spies, it might be a good idea to have me on hand, because number one, I can detect evil. I don't know if evil would be. I mean, I think they're pretty evil, in my opinion. I think that would probably help. But then I also have a circle of truth.
That's right.
She would chime in and would say, "If it's any consolation, I do not think the magic I felt from him was similar to that of the cult."
Still a potential lead, at least. And as much as I hate... Oh,
Sorry.
you can say your thing first.
It would never be him. He is a man that went around even in his own suffering helping people. He would never sow the seeds of chaos.
I don't think he would sow the seeds of chaos, but I'm wondering if past a third party there is a fourth party, and maybe a fifth party. That might just be conjecture, but I think things are more complicated than we may think.
Or, if anything, maybe our goals align. But, in addition to that, as much as I hate to say it, I think now more than ever, we might need to ask for some information, perhaps, from a certain deceptive and nosy spellcaster. He said he would still be around, and I'm sure he's eager to hear how our meeting with the king went.
That description of him felt a little more forced than usual, Rexmoa. Is he softening on you?
Yeah.
She...
Ambrose, I do want to apologize real quick, though. It's just, it was strange that all of a sudden he showed up and all this is going on here. It was just strange. I
I don't know why, but he was purposefully locking eyes with me. Like he was wanting me to see him.
Oh.
Chi would speak up again. Dwarves are known for being stubborn and prone to, well, rage. And grief may cause the king to act out on that anger. I would not be surprised if the king took action near immediately while we're thinking of what to do.
Well, if anything, a dwarf will abide by their word. And the king did say that he would let himself grieve and process a little longer. How much longer that means? Well, I don't think any of us can speak for certain.
I've never stopped.
Before he assumed we were spies, that is.
Well, let's hope for the best and not assume we're working towards a futile goal.
Well then.
Well, do you
Off
think?
to-
Oh,
Oops.
like me and Taurin just keep on like awkwardly going.
It's true to life.
There's too much emotions going on, and me and Taurin are just like,
Exactly. But go ahead. I was just gonna say, let's go see Theo. So if you have something more, continue.
I think I was gonna say the same. I was just gonna be like, well, we might as well get on our way.
I'll see.
Just that kind of thing.
Same track of mine. There we go.
Yeah. Same train, different tracks.
Yeah.
On a collision course. Wait, same tracks, two trains going towards each other.
Plain
Two
chicken.
trains, one cup.
God, Jesus Christ. Do not.
Sorry.
Got it.
No.
No.
I've never seen that, if it helps.
I don't know, man.
only-
It doesn't
I
help
don't know.
me.
I was like, wait, what? Oh.
That only
oh.
helps you.
I'm sorry to anyone who has seen that,
Jesus
but I am
Christ.
at least free of that knowledge, that visual image.
I'll send
Don't
the
even
link
talk
later.
about.
No.
Yep.
Dishonor, I will shank you in the eyes.
Oh god.
Jesus.
That would be helpful.
Getting vicious over here.
That got violent. So.
I mean, he threatened to send the video.
Oh, God. So.
Anyways, to the handsome Theo, right? Go ahead.
Well, that's what I was about to ask. What is the next step for you guys?
I guess the question is, do we want to split up or stick together?
I mean, do we have any idea where?
Together.
Is there anywhere we can actually go, like, besides Theo's place?
I guess, if we wanted to start looking for information, do the normal, like, canvassing type thing. But I do think seeing Theo first would be a good idea, if possible. Who knows what that guy's up to? He could be seeing his special friend.
Well, I also
That's
think it
true.
might be a good idea. Wasn't someone given a stone of, talking from distance, a distance speaking stone
Ascending stone.
from a certain elvish man wife?
Oh, me, Taurin?
Yeah.
Okay,
Did
I
you
was about to
not
say, did this happen to me?
Did you not get the stone from your man wife?
No. You guys pretty much just left it at, letters.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I
Mhm.
think I have.
Yeah, they're not at the
something for that.
stage where they're exchanging talking stones yet.
I'm sorry. Not at this point in time. Just
Yeah,
like-
there is
Okay,
no,
that's
there is
okay.
no
I have
sanding
sending.
stone service at this location.
I think Kipper's just gonna use sending,
Okay. All right.
Oh, sending.
To
and he's
who?
going to Galarian.
All right. You have 25 words or less.
Okay, 25 words or less.
Okay,
Let's see, I'm gonna
25
type it
words
out.
or less. That's already
Dearly beloved.
No, I'm not. I didn't say anything yet. I'm typing it out.
I'm just messing. But
I'm
go ahead.
so gonna whack ZJ in the head.
Okay, okay.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
What is your message then, my friend?
I'm typing it out.
You may not type it. No, 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 no.
Sure.
I will
Sure.
type it out.
Come on, you can do it. Extemporaneous speaking.
What? I'm gonna say it in the Kipper voice, not the Bit voice. Which I guess is mildly different. I try to work on my accent. It is not good.
Yes.
You're not supposed to agree.
No.
Brick to the head.
Let's see it then.
And the rabbit
Okay.
is writing a letter.
I said I was typing. I was thinking of typing. Okay. I'm just gonna start.
Alright, I'm counting.
King's brother
Okay.
killed by Cult of Fire Dragon.
Okay.
Believes it's you.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. Currently in grieving.
Okay.
Prepare defenses in case.
And your message cuts off.
Yeah, that was
Darn.
perfect actually.
Alright.
That was exactly the amount that I wanted.
So, since he technically cannot respond to this, since this is not the message spell, you would send this information out in hopes, you know, well, the spell clearly went through, so you're gonna have to wait and see what Galarian does.
If it recognizes you, can respond in like manner immediately.
Oh, that is true, actually. Alright, let me roll for something then. Alright. It takes a few seconds, but you hear the words coming into your mind, Kipper. What did you do? Is everything okay? Are you safe? Where are you? How is Taurin?
I knew it.
Let's see. Can you type out all those?
I mean, they just
Basically-
basically asked,
Are we okay?
Am I gonna
yeah,
have
are we
to use
okay?
up
What are we
more-
doing where we're at?
I'm gonna use more mana for this, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
You're sending it again? Okay.
Yeah. We're all safe in Gal Vithir.
Mm-hmm.
Bryn-
Met Vithius. Taurin doing good.
Okay.
Let's see, what else do I say? No, that does not count.
Okay. Oh, so,
No, that does not count. Also counts.
Yeah.
so in that case, your message will be cut off.
No, I didn't say any of that.
I didn't say any of that goes to the ascending.
Kipper starts removing the bricks from his bag. Inscribed with the shape of Ambrose's head.
Alright, so you still have a few more words.
Okay, Oh, dang nabbit. Was there another question that I didn't answer yet?
Taurin, how's Taurin
How's
doing?
Taurin doing?
No, I already said
Okay.
I already
Oh,
said
that's true,
that.
that's true.
Thanks.
What,
Say it twice.
what
Let's visit
happened?
twice, just
Where
to make
are
sure.
we? Are we safe?
Oh. Well, I already told him what happened.
Hmm.
Where are we? I said go
Yeah, you said that.
here. I also said we're good.
Okay, free
Uh,
space then, just to communicate with you
I
what you
mean,
want.
you can
Free
send,
What do you
space,
think
you
is
can
important?
send less, yeah. You can send
Yeah.
less. I mean, that's all good.
XOXO peace sign.
Uh,
love you.
There you go.
Taurin says you're hot. Send.
Why didn't you send that?
Okay.
You should prepare for like a war.
All right.
No, I did that already.
All right.
That was basically in the first message.
Okay.
A
just take it.
few seconds later, you hear Vithius. What? How? Where? He says, "Get out of town. It's not safe.
Oh.
Please. They may hear us. Be careful."
Okay.
Okay.
I think Kipper might just leave it at that. Oh wait, no, I have to tell him. Oh dang nabbit! I'm using up so much mana though. Hold on.
I mean, you could potentially save hundreds
I
of
got a
thousands of lives, so...
Sorry. I
Okay,
got
but what else? I've already told him to prepare defenses.
Could mention Vithius.
I did already
Fact
mention Vithius.
Mm,
Oh, did you mention the fact that she was actually waking up?
Oh, okay, yeah, I should mention that. Okay.
Vithius.
This is
Oh,
gonna
wait.
be like 9 mana points. Okay.
Turtle, wait. This is a fun letter.
Understood. Vithius.
Oh, wait, you're sending another one then.
Yeah.
Okay, let me count.
I
What
just
Okay.
said
She's saying,
I said
okay.
understood.
Okay.
Wait,
Vithius,
she's
so that's
saying
2
something.
words.
She's saying
Wait,
something.
she's saying something. Hang on.
Hang
Okay,
on, hang on.
I remove my what I have done. It has not happened. Nothing has happened.
Dun, 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 na, na,
No, it's okay.
na,
Okay.
na.
Oh wait.
Never mind.
Type it all back up again.
Alrighty. So, Kipper, what is your
Understood.
message?
Okay, so I've already said
Understood.
Vithius
Okay.
under Galvithir
Okay.
is waking up.
Okay.
Let's see. Met King.
Mm-hmm.
Happy.
Grief stricken, not thinking straight.
Okay. Still have a few words, but if you want to leave it at that.
How many do I have left?
You have around 10.
Oh, awesome. Tie Sylvana up somewhere. Throw away the key.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, and you're sending that?
Yeah.
Few seconds later, again, the reply comes back. He says, "That is not good. Very much not good."
Okay, as the party, are we? Does Kipper dictate these messages out loud?
I'm assuming he would.
Okay, and is Kipper also just flow of information type deal? Is Kipper also reading these messages back out to us?
Yeah, most likely. I mean,
yes,
if you want to
I'd
relay
say
the
yes on
information,
that.
yeah. Okay, so he continues. Don't
good.
stay in the kingdom. Please stay safe. I will try to meet up with you. And wait, hang on. I still have a few words. Keep communication
Where?
to the minimum.
I respond saying K.
Just K.
You just spent an entire mana point on a K.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Oh, it's not 1, it's 3. 'cause
Yeah.
it's a level
Three
3.
each?
Three
Oh
mana
my
points.
god.
Yeah, I've used
Holy
up
moly.
9. That's why I was kind of like, I don't wanna do it again, and then you guys were like,
Dilly-dally,
"But
nor
it's gonna
shilly-shally."
save
Yeah.
the world."
You're fine. I think that's plenty good. And then
Now I'm at 11. I'm at 11 mana.
Hey, you guys gotta use
plus-
your mana, you know?
That's
Yeah.
true.
ta-da!
There you go.
Now,
How are we gonna know where?
I don't know. It's kind of serious business right now. Is there any time for romance? No time for romance.
I hope he.
Mm.
I hope that he has a disguise spell or just a good wig of some sort.
Instead of being a normal elf, he comes as what are the dark elves called in D&D?
Drow.
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 There you go.
Drow.
Thank you. Silver hair, red eyes. Yeah, that'd be good.
So for the party,
Okay.
what is the next plan of action?
Fuck. Ah. Mm.
We
Go.
can't just leave. My mentor could be in the city.
I agree
I
as
think-
well.
I think we definitely have to do some more investigating.
Hmm. I'm afraid that your paramour might be a little disappointed in us, Taurin. At least momentarily. And also, I guess, if he's coming here, we should definitely tell him. Because it is not a good time to be an elf in the kingdom of Galvathir.
Yeah, we definitely. I don't think he would meet here, and I don't think we're going to be staying for too long.
I don't think he should be anywhere near here, Kipper.
Yeah, no, I know. I thought you were saying like he was gonna meet here, which I'm easily confused.
We
is
don't
what
know
I
where
mean
we're
to
gonna
say.
meet. It was left out.
I think you know
Uh,
what? After I get another rest, I'll message him and then ask for a rendezvous point. But I kind of need to save the rest of this for emergencies.
What time of day is it?
It would be like midday around-ish.
Okay, so there's still plenty of day left. Alright, yeah, I guess at the very least reconvene at Theodric's house, in quotation marks.
If you definitely want to, you can totally do it. Oh, Chi would speak up.
Yes.
Actually.
Party? Uh-huh.
Chi says, I can try to locate perhaps your mentor or even his robes that he wore. Then we can know if he is close or far.
Okay,
we
I have a
almost, like,
question.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so she described the magic. Did she describe it as evil or did she describe it as dark magic?
She
Dark
did say
magic and rotten.
Dark and rotten, yes.
Okay, so not necessarily evil, because I was thinking that we could always do the good old-fashioned split up, and then Kipper and Ambrose could go together. But Kipper's also out of mana, maybe. I mean, you already spent 9 of it. I don't know how much you have in total, but
Yeah, I need to save it for detecting evil
Mm-hmm.
evil.
and then casting truth serum circle.
Do we have detect misunderstood mentor? Okay.
I think he got that one down.
Kind of scramble to like remove cheese jar from my side and just kind of like hold it in front of me, kind of like cupping jar from underneath. Please, Chi, please do. I really need this.
Well, how about you two go back to Theodrix, and then I'll accompany Ambrose. And if he's there, let him know about the situation. And then from there, I guess, do as you see fit. And we can try to reconvene later on in the day.
Let's see. She will concentrate and cast a spell trying to search for the robes of Viera. You start focusing on the robes that you saw. What is the range of the spell again? It's
1,000 feet, I think.
1,000 feet, okay.
Plus an hour.
As you start focusing on the robes and you're trying to see if there is anything close by, Chi, you feel nothing in the area.
It does last for an hour, though, so at least it's that.
Mm-hmm. But the initial, spell, you don't feel anything. Let's see. She lets out a sigh and open her closed eyes. I don't sense anything from here, she murmurs, but perhaps if we move along, I may pick something up.
Then move along we shall.
I saw him during the funeral. Perhaps if we go closer there.
He must have moved since then. Do you know the general direction of where he went?
I lost him really quickly, but he went somewhere outside during then.
Well, we can probably, if we can get a map, look at where the procession was happening, then we can probably do a little bit of math as to the direction he was going, and then just generally a radius of where he would be based on how fast someone would walk. Generally? Especially considering that the city is kind of running slower than normal. I don't think he would have been able to get too far, but does he have any teleportation spells that you know of?
My mentor was just a swordsman like me. Everything I know, I learned from him.
Okay, so he's probably just fast then. Yeah, I'm assuming we're talking and walking. We're not just standing there, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys
Yeah.
are walking over to Theodric, then totally you're talking and walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember the spot where Theodrix is. You don't really have an issue with going into it. So you are able to, walk along the alleyways. Oh, she spoke. Now sounding hesitant. That sort of movement, it's not natural. It may have been a teleportation spell of sorts.
You said that... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go first.
He has been avoiding me for 10 years. Why would he suddenly appear now and purposefully catch my gaze? There must be a reason behind it. It doesn't make sense otherwise.
I think he's definitely trying to tell you something. I mean, Vithius is waking up, the king's brother is dead, the cult of fire is in action. There's definitely meaning behind it.
She would shake her head. That is what is confusing me as well. That and the magic I felt.
You said he was actively changing, that ever since he was initially cursed, he's changed. You don't think that he would have, as he changed, gained any sort of abilities? Like, what exactly is he changing into?
I give a different expression, kind of confused for a moment and look of surprise. I'm not sure. I never really thought about that. All I know is that his curse is causing him to lose his mind and his flesh. I don't know more. He left rather quickly after I learned it. With the magics that she felt, though, I'm sure that is whatever curse is ailing him.
Well, we have that, and
While they
I
walk,
think
she
that's
still
the-
concentrates. Sorry about that.
oh, sorry.
Interruption.
No.
We're so good at that.
Cheese skill is interrupting cow spell.
I mean, she's
So-
just concentrating on the spell. You're fine. You would be concentrating for pretty much like the whole hour. I don't think you're gonna be breaking concentration unless 10 minutes is. Was it? Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's an hour.
Well, if it's 10 minutes, I think it is 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure because you used the spell already. But yeah,
It's
I mean,
locate creature, right?
yeah, you would be, you know, concentrating on it, so you would be able to do it.
Oh yeah, because using locate object to find the robe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I think we might just continue in silence until we get to Theodric.
It'd probably take us a little bit more than 10 minutes to get back to Theodric's home, so...
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys would
I'll
be
imagine.
like I said, just walking about until you go down, because obviously you are in the royal like keep. You would be on the highest level of the kingdom itself. It would take you a few minutes. By that point, the spell would have worn off, and I can tell you, Chi, that in all of those 10 minutes that the spell was going, you have not picked up it. Oh, poor Taurin.
Or
That's
no
the second
worry.
time. That's the second time that Ambrose has gotten really angry about something towards the party.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like his anger. I'm sorry.
Okay, so are we at Theodric's now?
Yeah, as I said, you guys remember where the spot is, so you guys can go back again, and the house is still there. Nothing had changed, pretty much.
Okay. Knock knock. Kipper like knocks on the door.
Yeah, you're going to knock on the door. There is no answer. However, the door is open. Like, it just kind of creaks open.
Oh, great. This is potentially ominous.
Yeah, and inside, obviously, the house looks very empty. You've already noticed the house is very empty.
Hello.
Does he have like a furnishing spell or something?
No, if you remember correctly, there was just like basic furnishings. Oh, she shakes her head. I cannot feel it, she says to Ambrose, and the others too. Perhaps if we move further along, I can cast it again.
I was saying it in a British accent. It means I was Kipper.
Yes, I know.
Maybe someone saw him. I mean, he was in the middle of the funeral. He was surrounded by dwarves. Surely someone saw him.
That is true. We never thought to ask anyone. Well, I guess we didn't know it had happened until I asked.
Why did I have to? Why couldn't I move forward? Perhaps if I sprinted out towards him faster, then maybe I could have caught up to him.
Hmm.
No point in dwelling in what ifs.
What's important now is that you're closer than you were. This is the first time that you've seen him in a while, correct?
I have not seen heads or tails of him for 10 years. Only small, random things people tell me about spotting someone with similar robes. It's been so long since I've been so close. This entire time I feel like I've been grasping at nothing, hoping that I'd catch his coattails, but to actually know that he's even nearby, to have confirmed it with my own eyes, I feel both hopeless and hopeful at the same time. It hurts. And yet I did the same thing I did when he left. I stood still and cried.
She would say, then do not give up hope. We will find him, even if it takes a little time.
I made that promise to Vithius, but I have not changed at all in the past 10 years. I am the same child that lost his father.
You made that promise to Vithius yesterday. You can't change overnight. It's only your desire to change, and I think that you're self-aware in this now, and we'll be there to help you. It's not like it's going to just instantly happen, but we'll help you find him, and we'll help you keep your promise.
Let's see. She says, and I think a mother knows her child will need time as well. She adds to what Kipper says.
I was supposed to have grown stronger in these 10 years, so that I could face my mentor properly. I may have made that promise yesterday, but I made one to my mentor too, that I would face him as a person, and I can't even do that.
As you guys are talking, actually, can everybody give me a perception check here, please?
I perceive my
What's your job?
eyeballs.
Okay.
I rolled a 6. I'm not good at these.
I will perceive. So good at
That's good
perceiving.
perceiving.
I perceive everything.
Oh,
That's
got it
almost
right.
not
Okay,
20.
okay.
I perceive your mom.
What about
Perception, you said?
Yeah, perception.
Okay. Sorry.
So good, so good.
Good thing I had a divine sense earlier, otherwise I would not have noticed.
Okay,
24. Let's go.
so, Ambrose and Rexmoa, you both are pretty much focused on your talking. Okay.
I'm too busy like trying not to cry at the moment.
Yeah. And you know, Rexmoa is also focused on the talking and like what's the what is going on, like finding a way to get out of the situation or at least make it better. Kipper and Taurin, you notice Theodric has been there for like the past couple of minutes, just kind of listening to you guys. Like he's inside of the house, kind of like awkwardly just like there.
That's really funny.
Just at the corner of my
Doors
eye,
just
just kind of
Yeah,
look.
wide open.
Both of you actually,
little
you've seen him. He was about to interject, but somebody else spoke, and he was like, "Oh," he just kind of stayed there.
Yeah.
So we just realized Theo's right there.
Yeah. You guys have,
Crossed
you
arms.
guys
Ah.
noticed him.
That's so dumb. And
I was
like
gonna say something, but they appear to be having a certain type of conversation.
Pretty
Where is
much.
that damn wizard?
Kipper just kind of looks over and makes eye contact with Theodric in the meme style of he looks at me and I look at him. He looked at me and I looked at him. Looked at me.
Love it.
And I looked at him.
So,
Yeah.
as you guys are, discussing this, as I said, Ambrose and Rexmoa, you have not noticed, but Theo kind of just walks over to the door, just kind of knocks on it to call your attention. And he goes, well, if you're done talking outside, you can probably come in. It's a little
about
rude
time.
to open the door of someone's house without an invitation, but you're friends. I will let that pass.
The door was already open, Theodric. I advise you next time to lock your door just because thieves are an option.
And he just kind of goes like, I don't know about that. And he just walks inside of his house.
Something tells me he left it unlocked for us.
Um,
Torn would say under her breath.
Apologies, Theodric. I didn't mean to make a commotion in front of your house.
Don't apologize for having emotions. You have to at some point.
Mhm.
Wait, that came out weird. You do have emotions always. Wait, that came out. Pretend I'm not talking right now.
And you can see Theodric is going to like the kitchen area of the house as he leaves the door open for you guys. You guys are gonna come in?
Yep.
Yeah. Now we'll stay outside and continue talking about what's going on.
Yeah, so you enter, you saw the house as you saw it before. Very little furnishing, just kind of like the bare minimum basic things. There are no like personal belongings in the house besides whatever, materials for food there are.
There are food or no food?
Yeah, there is some food.
Okay, there are beef food. Oh, got it.
Also, cheese has them.
Exactly.
Kind of food.
The edible kind.
I love
Food.
food. I put food in my mouth and I eat it with my mouth.
Indeed.
Nom nom.
So
I'm a food scientist.
Con dulces.
you can see Theodore just kind of preparing something in terms of food, and he goes, "So, how'd it go?"
Poorly.
Well, we were doing well. Surprisingly, I was not the one that made it a bad occasion this time.
I wouldn't word it like that.
I would word it like that.
And it's
Joven
better.
King thinks we're spies and is probably going to be marching towards Galvanthier soon.
But on the bright side, we at least told him about Vithius in the mountains and the cult of fire and literally everything.
I don't think he listened to the Vithius part.
You
I think
can
I made
see
it worse
that.
when I said that.
You can see that Theodric, at the mention of, you know, marching and everything like that, he just kind of stops what he's doing and he goes, "Oh, yeah, that is probably the worst scenario. Were you guys trying to incite a war?"
He was actually starting to listen to us, but I think Rexmoa was trying to.
Alright, that's a bit disingenuous.
Was that disingenuous?
I
I
don't
thought it was.
Moa, on the other hand.
I-
Continue though.
No, I was trying to say it like I think he was trying to pull a gamble. What were you gonna say, Rexmoa, actually? I'm actually kind of interested to hear what you were going to say.
I was gonna bring in the fact that 2 of us were chosen by the Titans.
That is also what I was hoping when I brought up Vithius and the possibility of evidence. But, apparently I'm not a child of Vithius to him.
Just bad timing on our parts.
Oh, she would whisper to Ambrose, I'm assuming. Ask him if he saw.
I'll wait to see if Theo has any comments before I change the topic.
And yes, as you guys mentioned, as he says, "Oh, well, that is certainly not good." You can see him like kind of rushing a little bit as he's like kind of looking around at stuff, and he says, "Well, I would advise you to not stay for too long, especially, well, if the king believes you are spies. I don't think it's a good idea to remain here."
I cannot leave right now. Theo, do you remember that question I asked you a while back
Yes.
in private? You've probably realized, but I've revealed the context of what happened there. But I saw my mentor in the city. Is it possible that you may have seen someone wearing dark robes covered head to toe?
Well, other than me, no, not really. Those kind of people tend to stand out in these places.
Did you leave this room? Or were you just here for the whole procession?
I was somewhere, that's for sure.
We
Okay,
didn't see you there.
I think that's pretty normal Theo response. I think we just trust you to be ominous at this point.
It just kind of gives you a little bow at that. Just a little tease.
Theodric, you have a knack for finding us. Is it possible that you can find my mentor if he's in town?
I can try, but well, I could perhaps find them by probing into your mind a little, but before you say anything, yes, I know that is a little intrusive. Not something I would do with everybody.
Ad prison.
But
The ad
if
lady.
you but if you're so sure, I could give it a try.
I am absolutely certain. Anything to find my mentor.
All right. Well, if that is the case, I am going to need you to sit down, relax, and, well, calm your emotions first. I can not really work when you are a mess. No offense.
I understand. Easier said than done, fortunately.
Well, why don't you relax? Let's sit down, take a breather, and let's not think about the fact that, well, you probably may have started a war between factions, but it's all right. Okay, let's not focus on that one right now.
Hey, that war was already gonna happen.
Mm.
Let's be fair here.
Our best bet was probably avoiding the war for like a couple weeks before the elves, specifically Sobian, caused someone to march down here.
Yeah, just have the king take funeral leave, you know? That's alright.
And to be honest, the king does have every reason to march down to the elves. Like, yeah, obviously, it's pretty much certain that it is just all a ploy by the Call to Fire, but that is some, like, terrible evidence that has been placed on his doorstep.
Yeah.
Even if it was fake.
Where's she now? Back at the
Uh,
waist, I'm assuming? Or are you still holding her because you were like holding it before?
Yeah, I probably would have continued holding you, considering that you were casting the spell.
Okay.
And there was probably a part of me that was also almost using Chi as an anchor, just like having something to carry.
Fair enough. So, while we think about what to do next, we're gonna end the session right there because that's all the time that we have tonight.
No.
That concludes the next episode of Crenia's Awakening.
That concludes this episode. We'll see what happens in the next one. But for now, let us say goodbye to the people that are watching the VODs on YouTube. Goodbye.
Goodbye, VOD
Bye.
Squad.
Love
not
you.
See you
mean to-
later.
Goodbye. I did not mean to drink
Hydrate.
water. Yay. Also, yes, hydrate.